So, welcome to the attic for a start. You guys are the first visitors to come and speak to us, which is cool. I say us like it's my multiple personalities or something, but no. So, us in the case of this is the Silverburn Festival team. All right. So you guys have played Silverburn Festival how many times now?
Twice.
No, it's been more than twice. Yeah, it's been at least 3 times.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 times now. Yeah.
And have you enjoyed it? What is the Silverburn experience?
Silverburn is always the best gig of the year for us. I mean, I'm not just saying that because we are here, but we've spoken about this at length, and it's always like, Silverburn, definitely in. Let's get it on.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. It's just such a good setup. Yeah.
The atmosphere is just, just everybody's in it. It's not a hard crowd. You don't have to work the crowd. Right. They come ready.
The best part is like you don't have exactly. You can sell tickets to your families and friends and whatever, but you just know that everyone going is going to be there for a good time. And the fact that it's family orientated, you can bring the kids. You've got all the stalls. You've got everything that you need right there. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
I've got to say, like again, obviously, like organizer guy here, and I need to like try. It's weird. They've got to put, I don't know, different hats on for it and stuff, but I find it hard to look at the festival through the same eyes as everybody else because I'm running around doing stuff back for it. I actually, so I did it, so 1 year I calculated it, so I did Ben Nevis one summer as like a charity thing. I did the same amount of steps at Silverburn the next year as I did.
That's wild.
It's bananas, eh? It was much
What
easier.
Was
much
Ben Nevis
easier.
is like no stress, you're fine, you're just like...
The pain, man. Have you ever done?
No. I've never done in Monroe even.
Yeah, because it's worth kind of
I'm a lazy I didn't even walk to the shop for a pint of milk. I take my car.
Pizza and biscuits, that's it.
I didn't think I would. I mean, I like a walk out, kind of, a wee bit out into the hills and stuff, but no mountains in Monroe.
I do actually enjoy going out walking everything, but I haven't done anything sort of big. I really haven't.
I like to go away. We've got a little kind of camp space up north that me and Jen go to, and we went up like Benny the last time, and there's all the old Scots pines and everything like that. It's absolutely stunning. So when you're up there, it's amazing. It's just the thought of doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things we like about Silverburn as well, is that it's totally surrounded by the trees.
It's beautiful.
I used to go to Silverburn Park as a little girl. So there's a lot of nostalgia for me with, I mean, it was quite different then. They just have a little farm there, I don't know if you remember, things like that. And, back in those days, like, entertaining your kids was literally, you would pack some food and then go, right, off you go. Don't come back, mums are having a chat. Like, there was no, like, mum and the mums never played with us or anything. So we just ran daft down Silverburn Park. Like, absolute freedom, up trees, hide and seek, all that. Just, so for me, it's actually quite a magical wee place that I've got really good memories of.
Maybe that's part of why
I think that
like
taps into, like, how I feel when I'm there. It's got just a nice energy vibe. But on top of that, as a punter, it's a great festival to be, because there's always good music. I've seen lots of music that I've never seen before, and then I've went to see bands after because I've seen them at Silverburn first.
Do you ever look at the trees and think, I'm going to climb one of them at the back of you?
For sure. I mean, every time. Like, I mean, this year we're going to go for, I don't know,
I think my tree climbing days are over. I'll just watch.
Oh no, yeah, you can watch and watch. Well, you can watch my drunken ass falling.
Me and you, Chris, up the tallest tree that we can find.
I'll catch you.
You can go on my back. I'm monkeying my way up.
I don't think you want that back, honestly. Right, cool. So I'm going to double back a wee bit. I'm going to give you my first experience of the Catch-22s.
All right.
I'm going
to, God.
I'm going to ask what yours. Well, no, it was quite a cool thing. Although I can't remember where it was. I know it was in a pub in Kirkcaldy, and I can't remember who I was invited along. I was invited along to see another band altogether, and then so I was there. I was watching that band, and somebody said, "Oh, the Catch-22s are up next. They're brilliant," kind of thing. Yeah, and that was it. I was thinking about leaving, and they were like, "Didn't do it. Stay and watch this next band. They are absolutely brilliant." I was like, "Okay, all right, cool." And you just walked up, and I had no idea what to expect. You know that kind of when you go into a place and you've got zero idea what kind of band the next band are. And I think I'd just been seeing so much. It was a rock band, and there was an indie band, and there was another rock band, and then it was like, a metal band, and then it was like
same old.
Nobody was doing, and then you guys kicked in, and the atmosphere just like lifted for these kind of dreary. I don't know who was on before. It wasn't the band I was away to see. I don't think.
Let's hope not.
Names.
It was honest, I can't remember it. Anyway.
But there was a kind of time, especially when the Arctic Monkeys and stuff all came out, that there was just like bands after band that all kind of sounded a little bit just kind of Manchester,
There was a bit of a
Liverpool.
generic sound going around.
Yeah, and even Scottish people were singing in, like, there was...
in English accents.
Yeah, that was bananas.
I know.
That was absolutely
But
bananas.
trends are funny, man. You know, you just don't know what you're going to get next year.
I know, and I think that's why I like to see a gig where the lineup is mixed up. And I think maybe even just going to that gig then was probably the first time that I twigged, oh, it's good to have different bands on a bill.
It's true, by the way, because it does get samey. Like, playing in the metal scene before, joining the Catch-22s and all that sort of thing, it was just cool. Metal band, thrash band, metal band, and not understanding a single lyric. It gets a little bit fine.
That's what's lovely about festivals.
Yeah.
Because you're guaranteed that mix, rather than going to like a gig night where you tend to sort of put on similar vibe bands, you know.
I'd also like to say I'm not like hating on metal bands either. I love metal.
But you're right. There was
like-
nobody doing what we were doing.
No,
At all at the time. So there was nobody apart from Root System, which we did get put on the bill with a lot. But I mean,
But
really,
it's
if you
still a
put Root
different-
System us together, we are not really alike. Apart from there's a ska influence.
we
You
play
work
offbeat,
well
yeah.
together, but it's two different
But they
bands.
were probably the closest thing around that was even close to similar to what we were doing.
So my question to you is that
Yeah.
how did that happen? How did it become that type of band, the Catch-22?
Well,
it
I
was
don't
actually,
know.
it was before I was in the band, actually.
Yeah, it
I
was-
kind of joined after you had that
He was a
conversation.
baby. He was only 19 when he
I know,
joined the band.
I got
Can you
lured
believe
in
that?
with promises of sweets and chocolate.
That's it. And you've been there ever since how many years? And did you get your speech and chocolate?
Never happened once.
I don't know.
I had to buy them myself. Want a pocket money.
So originally the band was kind of rocky. It was kind of more sort of
Soft rock stuff, eh?
soft, like I don't know, maybe Blondie, Avril Lavigne, I can't even say her name. I kind of had a rock vibe anyway.
Right.
It was a different guitarist, as Chris said, and we had one song that had a kind of Mark, who was in the band at the time, had been listening to Manu Chao.
Right.
And he really liked that, so he came up with a sort of wee riff that was like that. I think it was Talk of the Town.
Yeah, that's
And
right,
then I wrote a song called Karma Song, which we're going to play today. Actually, it's actually a really old song that we've revived, and they had a sort of ska vibe, and we could just feel when we played them, just exactly what you said. There was a shift in energy
Right.
because it was like, oh, what's that? Because it was different.
Aye.
I think just
And I kind of locked into that, and so did Mark, that was in the band at the time. And then the guitarist, who was very much sort of rock guitarist, he left. So when we got Chris in, it just seemed like a natural to go, do you know what, why don't we just like
Can you lean
lean
into
into
it?
this and write a bit more? And I found it really easy to write.
Right.
I mean,
Well, it's simple, you know, it's like, it's not overly complicated.
Right.
So in terms of writing, I thought it worked really well because we had a bit punk element. You could write about stuff that was kind of
a bit more edgy.
funny.
Yeah.
You know, you could put a wee bit of humour in it.
Right.
Which rock, you didn't really have that opportunity with rock music. It has a
can
kind
be
it's
very
love,
taking yourself
it's drugs, it's
seriously,
sex,
yeah,
it's rock
yeah.
and roll,
Yeah, yeah.
it's, you know, it's... yeah, I was a wee bit limited, whereas I felt like ska, pop, punk, which is what I would sort of put us under that umbrella, it was just a bit fun. You know, it was a bit fun, so you could write about some lassie you could stand down the pub. Or you could write a song about your after parties and folk, you
I
know,
know.
drinking all your drinking,
All the good stuff
smoking
that
all
you
your
get
fags.
in bands. Fuck.
I suddenly was able to write stuff like that. And so
But it's
it
real
was
life too
enjoyable.
as well. I think it had that sort of real life punk aspect to the lyrics where you go, this is just everyday living for some of us, you know,
Yeah.
who do the band work.
I felt when I was writing rock, I kind of fell into the traps of having to write sort of something more, some more
Meaningful,
serious,
yeah.
meaningful stuff, which is nothing wrong with.
No.
But
And there's also
yeah.
room for that within ska, but I just think that the music itself is so upbeat. It has that kind of, that bossa nova bass lines, the kind of, everything there is designed to make you dance and get up and party. And
That's
you know,
really why we did it, because the ego, you want people to come in, sing along, dance, and go after it, come up to you, go, oh my God, that was brilliant.
Aye.
That's the ego part of being in a band. That's what you want after it. You want people to have a brilliant time, and you feel like you've facilitated that somehow.
And it does work. And to wind back to that first gig, I think that's what I remember. I remember kind of you guys going on stage as just like, these were guys I was just passing a minute ago where
Aye.
I had no idea we were in a band kind of thing, and then you just become super cool to me, like, what, I've actually seen that? And I don't think I was
It's like smoke and mirrors, man.
So not cool.
I don't think I was playing in bands and stuff, like, I'd played in bands way back, and then I had this, like, massive gap in between where I hadn't done really anything. Maybe like acoustic open mics or something like that, but it wasn't like a gig and full band. And there's a big difference between the vibe with the things.
Funnily enough, when I joined, it was through an open mic acoustic thing, because I'm a fingerstyle guitarist as well. And it was actually Kev from Root System who came to see me one time, and he was just like, Chris, what are you doing, man? This is ridiculous, you know? And he's like, but you're into your ska, aren't you? And I was like, I love Some Kind of Series, I love Bomb Scare, I love all those guys. And he's like, well, tell you what, my pal's got this band and there's an opening. So I just went down with my big long hair, my metal guitar, and I went, yeah, sure, let's make it work.
Yeah, he phoned me, he's like, Lisa, there's this guy, he's so young, but he's out of hand on the guitar. Out of hand, kid. I think it's exactly what he said. And I was like, alright. He's out of hand, kid. And Kev never phones anybody, by the way.
Right.
Kev was like, he was like a total caveman when it came to phones and that. So for Kev to phone me, I thought, well, he must be really good.
A meant to be moment.
Yeah, and we all just clicked kind of as friends as well.
Ah, for sure. We just kind of got on really well.
That was a really fun time. A lot of partying, a lot of laughs. And Chris at the time, his girlfriend who was coming along to all the practices, who I eventually said, well, you're here so much, you may as well have a mic and just be in the band.
Put
Right, punk rock. I don't know what I'm doing, just take a mic, just make noises. Ooh, ah, ee, ah, ooh. Do that, you know.
And it worked. It really worked.
And we were kind
And that's
of
how she came into the band.
we were kind of known for a while. I was like, oh, that group with the two lassies. That worked for us as well, because it's a bit of a sausage fest, the band scene. It is though.
Don't know what you mean.
It's hard to. There's not a lot of girls.
I know what you mean, and again, in booking for Silverburn, I try to be conscious of that and go, right, where am I going to just try and make sure that it's an even playing field and stuff like that.
It's
as
hard
well.
though, because there's not a lot of lassies.
Female fronted.
Well, not even just women playing instruments. It's not. It just seems to be a sea of boys often. It does. I'm being kind, which is fine. But so it's almost this thing when I see another band that's got a girl, where I'm like, I'm in a band too.
It's like,
I immediately think that we should be like best friends, you know, because it's like
Stepbrothers
we're like
moment,
rare breeds, you know. But I think that is changing now for sure. You look at the music, it's like in the charts even now. If you listen to Six Music and all the new music that's come out, loads of women.
Oh, hundreds of them.
Loads and loads.
I've been trying to do like a band a month, like a new band a month for a while, and like I've discovered a bunch of guys that are absolutely awesome. But Tennis are this amazing kind of lo-fi band that have come out recently.
Oh really?
Absolutely awesome. You should check them out.
Yeah, I've been listening to Wet Leg a lot.
Right.
Wet Leg are great.
Aye,
so good.
Really good.
Weirdly, so one of the questions I was going to hit was
right?
who are you listening to now? Because I think
current
that's
bands.
Because I've definitely been guilty in the past of just listening to the same.
Oh, totally.
Forever and ever and ever. So okay, Wet Leg is one band. Tell me about like for anybody who might not know Wet Leg at all.
Wet Leg.
Chez Long. That's it. That's
two
that
females,
song. Just listen to
two fronted females. Quirky lyrics, rock.
Do you remember
but with a sort of, I don't know, just like an alternative. Yeah, they're
like
just
the woman
they've
who done
got
the Beatles cover. What was that? Money. She done did.
Oh, right.
That's what I want. Like the kind of talky sort of thing.
Oh yeah, they do a bit of talking.
Yeah.
and
They
that.
do a little bit of
to
that.
find that. I feel like this should be a moment where I go, and here, check out Wet Leg.
Yeah, for sure.
I would recommend Wet Dream was one of the songs I absolutely love.
Yeah, great.
So I've been listening to a lot of them. A band called The Chats I've been getting into recently.
I saw
I've
your
not heard them,
post about
actually.
that
So
the other day.
good.
Smoko.
Yeah,
is just so good.
I'd heard of them before, but my sister-in-law's brother was over from Australia, and we ended up like having a night, and he had them on a lot, and I was like, I love that. Just a real breath of fresh air into punk, which can feel a bit old and tired sometimes, but they've added something new. I don't know if it's the Australian accents or what it is, but they're really good. What else have I been
I
listening
know.
to?
Like my friend sent me a band or
She
something
Drew
right
the
now.
Gun.
She drew the gun, right?
Been listening to her.
Yeah, I forgot.
She's
Yeah.
and I actually went to see Skunk Anansie.
You're so good.
Which, when you dip into what you listen to all the time, they're one of my all-time favourite bands. They had a support band called Jen and the Degenerates.
Right.
And not a big band, but I've listened to them constantly. I love that about sports. If you get you're like, oh,
if you get a good one, yeah.
Well, that's because who was the support for the Interrupters? They were really good.
Oh yeah, I follow them still. They're called the Skints.
The Skints, that's right. Yeah, honestly, great band. Really kind of, again, there's a female front, but really quite hard rocking in areas, but quite reggae and soulful. It was awesome.
I've got to say, the Interrupters are a band. I don't think they're that new, but they're new to me certainly.
Brilliant
kind of
band.
thing. And yeah, just so good. So
Well,
good.
they're-
I mean, nothing hugely new, but
No.
But just done well.
Tried
It's
and
like
tested.
it's kind of like a new Rancid of that sort of caliber. You know what I mean?
It was the last gig we went to before
For
the
COVID.
madness of
Yeah, yeah.
COVID was the Interrupters at Barrowlands. It was like
excellent.
February, wasn't it?
Aye,
So
would've
like
been
just before.
right before.
And they were absolutely phenomenal live. And in fact, Warrior that we're going to play was kind of Interrupters.
Oh well, that was
inspired.
written on the back of that because we'd
Yeah.
done that. We went, let's do something like that. That was a great night.
Yeah.
And then we've written the song that is a little bit of a tip to the hat to them.
A wee
so.
bit of a vibe, yeah.
and on that note, let's hear Warrior. I don't care if I'm going to use that, but I just thought it'd be good. When we started with the whole Silverburn Festival, one of the things I was really worried about, because I am a paranoid android, is trouble at the gig.
Oh,
And I had never been to a local gig or any kind of rock gig, indie gig, punk ska where there had been trouble at all. But I just get worried about it. And we're now however many years into this thing now, and I think
Touch
the
wood.
closest not this year, but the closest thing that we ever got to any trouble, and it probably wouldn't have been that bad, was at the end of the first year or the second year. I was coming away from the first tent. Root System are playing, and they're playing past the curfew, and the police have been in my ear.
Oh.
I'm like, you need to shut this down. I'm like, oh, shut it down any minute now. They know this is the last song, and the police have been totally cool with the festival, even right for that first year. They were a wee bit, just wanting us to finish on time that first year. But anyway, and I'm coming away, and the next thing I see is two guys just about to push a portaloo over, and I'm like, oh, is there somebody in there? Like, that made a difference. Is there somebody in there? And they're like, yeah, it's our mate. And I'm like, please don't. And they just went, okay. and just stopped and
but the thing is,
away. That was really about it.
But I think we do have people like that, or people are behaving genuinely badly. It's so quickly shut down by other people that you're like, nah, stop being like that.
It's not got that vibe
yeah.
at Silverburn. I think it's a lot of people take their kids along as well.
It's
There's just like a
family-oriented, we
level
still have that
of
level, yeah.
respect, sort of. Aye.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I've never felt anything like that.
I think that's why we look forward to it so much, is that there's no worry, there's no stress. You don't have to worry about getting the kids into daycare or whatever.
I think Silverburn is a reflection of the greater music scene in this area. Leven, metal,
particularly
and
within
everything.
Leven and things, yeah.
And for whatever reason,
Always a good
they've
gig.
always like totally embraced us and got like behind us far more than anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
They just get us, like us, and every gig we've played here, every single one has been good.
Exactly.
We've never had a bad
No,
experience,
never.
and it is the crowd. They're just off it.
I think
So it's just I think that Silverburn is the kind of epitome of this area of people that are just love music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're into their music.
Definitely using that bit. That's cool. Right. Well, on that, right, so, okay, I was going to... One I've got in here is best gig, worst gig.
so easy.
Right, go for it. Hit me with catch it
Honestly,
best gig, worst gig.
I'm not just saying this. Chris, I'm
you go for
talking
it. No,
about
no.
my favourite gig was the Silverburn when I was pregnant.
Right.
That was
I don't know because
So
it was
good.
sober. I don't know like what it was, but the energy was just like.
Everything just fell into place that year, and that's
I
honestly,
came off
that's
so
mine.
proud, and when I saw the photos back and I was like, oh my god, like that was maybe the
that's-
best thing we've ever done.
Again, easily for me too, in terms of this band, was like, it was that show. You had the Johnny's Bar Mitzvah blow up inflatables. You had, I was using like a bunch of really great gear that Keir let me borrow.
Right.
So the sound was awesome. Everyone was just up for a party. I've even still got like the photos on my Facebook as my banner and everything like that. It's
Right.
honestly such a good gig.
Can
But
I
yeah,
just say
the
there is a
young lad
close
here-
second though?
The young
Right,
lad,
okay.
gosh, what's his name? The boy that came and play sax for us that night.
Oh, Logan.
Logan, yeah. So we had a
Logan
sax
playing
player that
sax.
night,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
just such a cool day. You know what I mean? So yeah,
it
for
was
sure.
good. Close second though has to be Hootenannies.
Oh, Hootenannies was wild.
In London.
It was so wild.
I think they booked us by accident. I don't think they meant to
Well,
book
the thing is,
us.
there is another catch-22 of the American guys.
All right.
You know,
I
but-
don't know what happened, but they booked us anyway, and they paid our train. They gave us 600 quid plus digs,
Right.
which actually isn't a lot of money.
To be fair, it was digs. It was like train spotting, man. It was like a manky mattress on the floor.
Yeah, we all had skin like Spider-Man after we slept in the
know.
bed, so we're like, aye. So we got the train in. Basically the money paid for the train. We got the 5 o'clock train in the morning. Started drinking
Right.
From the word go.
Wow.
from the start. So we arrived, and it was the day that William and Kate got married.
Royal wedding. That's right. So
So it was a ghost
mobbed.
town. Like we got to London, we're like, London, baby! Woo! And it was just like echo. Like the underground was empty. Like everything was dead because everybody's up in pubs or in houses watching the
every
royal
pub
wedding.
was absolutely mobbed. Every single one.
And,
the streets were empty.
But it was like, it had this really like strange, unique atmosphere because I've been in London many times. It's never been like that, you know. And it was just a couple of days of just catchphrases, drinking,
Well,
hilarious
funnily enough, we
laughter.
recorded the whole thing, but we've not released anything.
But we
just
were
kinda-
so drunk. Like, so we got really drunk on the train, arrived, sobered up. I'm like, oh, thank God. And then we're like, yeah, you're on at 3 a.m.
No, it was 1. We
1.
No, we were on at 1.
Yeah.
It wasn't 3.
No,
Right.
she were on at 3.
What? Oh no, we are! Jesus Christ!
That was a catchphrase. Oh, she, we're on at 3. But basically, we were the last band
Right.
of the night. We were like,
that, jeez.
hell, we got inebriated
We arrived
again,
at one.
obviously.
We
And we were
arrived at
about
one.
to go on stage, and Chris was like, do you think we could just do like 3 songs? I'm so drunk. I was like, we
I
can't.
was out of my mind drunk. I was like,
I was like, we can't.
I've never been this drunk in my life.
And he's like that.
Sweating buckets.
I'm like, get on.
But I take it just can't
Well,
be.
no. The funny thing is, like, we filmed the whole thing, start to finish, train journey, London, baby, blah blah, and Mark in the band is like, no, stop wasting the tape. We need to like save the battery for the gig. Save the battery for the gig. We missed the gig.
But you forgot to film
Like
it.
we set the film, like we got the hang on. It went right, cool. There's the crowd and cutscene. That was
Last shot's Chris going, I don't want to do it. But the bands all before us
Great
were like
band.
very like reggae.
heavy reggae. Yeah.
Like really like quite a different vibe. And it was packed. And I was like, oh my God, I have no idea what this is. So I just went out really like,
Uber aggressive.
let's get it. I might have been the booze. I don't know.
I don't
Somebody
know.
touched my leg. I kicked him in the
somebody- you
face.
did boot a
And
ball in
everybody
your
went, yes!
It was glorious.
Well, he like properly like stood his
Oh,
hand on my
right.
leg, and I just went
Oof.
kicked him, and everyone was like, yeah,
Phil Doc Martin right to the bus.
yeah, this is great.
Brilliant.
And it was one of those gigs that just went like that. It was so fast, and we all came off. And we're like, oh my God, that was absolutely brilliant.
The buzz of that must have
Electric.
lasted you like weeks.
Well,
was a
every
good one, like,
song,
it was a
I mean,
good
our
one.
songs are not fast anyway.
Yes, they
long
are.
anyway. Sorry, long.
They're
But I
very
think
fast.
they even shorted by at least 30 seconds a minute because we were just like, played them like, got through them. But yeah, it was just a great night and experience. And yeah,
I guess
that is probably my second
Top
favourite
2.
gig.
I mean, I guess there haven't been many like truly awful gigs.
Oh yeah, you weren't in the band, but I'll tell you.
Oh
what.
right, well the one for me, just in terms of just being on stage and dying and like not wanting to be there anymore,
Right.
was I think it was called The Melting Pot. It was out in Glasgow somewhere,
Oh yeah.
and it was the single warmest room I've ever been in my life.
Right.
Like surrounded by like heavy
about
lights,
that.
tiny stage.
Were you hungover? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Or
well,
you were
no,
just...
I was probably fairly drunk because that's what I did.
I sort of remember a sweaty gig,
But
not being busy though.
No,
was
it wasn't busy. It was quite dead. We weren't like Glasgow wasn't our scene. I've no idea how we even got this gig.
Can't remember.
But it was just like we weren't really all that confident about going on anyway. And then
Right.
it was just incredibly hot, and the floor was sticky, and I was dying, and I was going, nope, hate everything about this. Can I please get off? And I was like an hour set too. It was so, it was
yeah.
like it wasn't like a quick half hour. You just go great, bye.
Right,
We were on for a fair amount of time, and
I'd
it sucked.
obviously taken that out of my memories.
It sucked. It was bad.
My worst was playing at the Three Sisters in Edinburgh,
Oh,
Right,
that,
aye.
up in a function room.
All right. Aye, I think I know what
So
you're talking about, yeah.
nobody coming in or out really, and we literally played to the other band
Right.
and
Yeah,
a couple of
I've heard
randoms, and they served sandwiches during the set.
Wow.
Curly dry sandwiches as well, not even like nice sandwiches. And I just remember just thinking,
What are we doing?
what is this gig?
You've
Like, what
got
is
to play
this?
your share of crap gigs though, don't you?
Oh, totally.
And
yeah,
then,
you
you know,
gotta
after
grind
every
You
song
gotta
it
grind
was,
And did you even get anything else out of it? Like, did another decent gig roll out of it, or was it just
sandwiches.
like that was a dead end
We
thing?
got
Just
sandwiches.
curly dry.
I'm just saying, I didn't get dry sandwiches.
I think we played, but that was just before
Aye.
Christmas in the band. But yeah, that was. I just remember thinking, never again. That was. It was just awful.
It's like playing your grandma's
It
living
was
room.
really, really weird. And
Probably,
they paid,
probably a better gig in your grandma's
I
living
think
room.
they did pay us something, but I can't honestly remember.
Kind of be a living room gig. That's
Well,
for
Sneaky Beats was good.
Sneaky Beats was
small.
nice,
That's
yeah,
basically
yeah.
as a living room. Yeah, we played more good gigs than bad, but there's certainly been a
That's
few.
what I'm saying. I don't think there's been any true hurler gigs other than just like people not being there or being a weird venue.
Yeah.
You know, there's not been anything that we've all like fought all the bouncers because we're out of our minds or whatever, you know.
I don't. We've not had many gigs that we've played badly. There was only one in PJs, and I was so drunk about bit my own tongue. And the thing.
Oh, I forgot about
I'll never do shots before going, and I never
Oh,
have
that's
done
good.
shots again
That's
since.
great.
Yeah.
I do like a drink before I go on because it will kind of relax me, and I tend to. Well, it depends what I'm doing. If I'm just playing like bass or guitar or something like that, then it's great for that.
If you're more involved,
see, when
yeah.
I was singing, and I use that loosely, right? Like I used to just blank on the first like line of songs, like all
Once
the
you
time.
blank, it's
And
the
it's
panic.
very difficult to get it back. Like, the two times, I think the first one was actually the very first gig, which was at Silverburn, and I think I like jazz scattered that first line.
Give it a
and then it kicked in. And
Oh,
nobody mentioned it, whether they noticed or not. I didn't ken. And then the other one was again Silverburn again, and it was Groucho Underdog, and we started the song, so there's a bit of an intro to it kind of thing, and then like we were coming towards the end of the intro where I was going to have to start singing, and I'm walking up to Tam the guitarist and I'm like,
First line.
what's the first line of this song? He's like, I don't know. Cool. I was like, go again, the intro. He's like, okay, cool. I'm here to bed. He's like, what's the first line of the song? And he's just like, total drummer. Yeah.
What?
No idea what he's saying.
Happiest man alive. Just
And I just thought, you know what, I just gonna need to get this. So I just turned and I could feel myself just like walking up to the mic, and I did not get that song until I was like this close.
It's amazing
to the
how it
mic.
just
And
like
then
clicks
there,
in.
There it was,
Just
and
picked
I
in.
just went for it, and that was actually quite a good set for me.
muscle
kind of
memories, I
thing.
think,
Yeah.
man, for sure.
Really, but I did get into a point like, well, I was always bad for writing set lists and stuff on my arms, and I started writing the first few words to every, like as the set list. So rather than
It's not
writing
a
the
bad
name of the
idea,
songs,
actually.
first couple of words to each song down the arm like that.
I'll just
kind of
tattoo
thing.
it, you know.
Yeah.
You see it if you look back like Groucho photos and stuff like that. I've always got something written on. I was looking at one the other day, Silverburn
Cool
again.
tattoos, bro.
And normally I wear beads. I have been. They're all gone because I've got a small child who now likes to just try and eat them and
Yeah.
ping them, and he's broken loads of them. But there's a cool photo I was looking at the other day and I'm going, what's that sticking out of the beads there? And then I remembered it was like a note that my daughter gave me before I went on that was like,
Aw.
good luck, Dad. kind of
Oh,
thing.
that's sweet.
Which is why looking back on all these photos for Silverburn is a cool thing.
It is.
Right, okay, let me see. Just checking what else we've got to cover. Next thing I want to talk about is just other projects and the future of the band kind of thing. So, like, just for you, Chris, as a starting point, because I think it's too good not to mention, you play a lot of kind of solo acoustic stuff,
Yes.
and you're going to play the acoustic stage this year at
Yes,
Silverburn as well.
absolutely. Happy to do that.
But tell me a bit about that, and then tell me a bit about, at least if you've got any other projects going on, and then for Catch 22.
So I mean, like, I'm pretty stretched out. I mean, I've got a few things on the go at all times, but I've been playing fingerstyle guitar forever. You know, it's the sort of thing. I heard this guy called John Butler, and he just like inspired me super heavy. I'd never seen a guitar played that way before.
Right.
He done a song called Ocean. And so I sat down and tried to learn it super badly because I had none of the skill. And then you just keep at it, and then I've eventually kind of picked up a couple of things. And I liked it so much that I just kind of branched out more into that sort of genre. And some of these guys are just like out of hand good, you know.
Right, yeah.
To quote Kev Fick.
Yeah. Out of hand good.
But I don't know. It's just a kind of genre that sits with me really nicely. I like everything about it. The melodies, the simplicity of just having a guitar doing all this like complicated noise, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just something I've been touching with on and off for like the last 10 years or so. I actually released an EP just through COVID there.
Right.
And it's called Winter Sun, just a little thing I'd done at college a few years back that I managed to put together and get a little bit of artwork for and stuff.
Right.
So that was really fun, and that's probably the peak of it.
Right.
It's completely wasted in this band.
That's not true, but yes.
Yes, you are.
But
Yes.
I've also been doing stuff with a friend of mine who's like a practicing pagan, and
Right.
yeah. So we've been doing lots of like old Scots, kind of Viking Norse stuff
Cool.
with like a Kravik lyre.
Right.
So he goes by Antuach,
Right.
which is it just means the axe in kind of like Norse or Scots or something. I don't know.
Cool.
But it's very kind of. Have you ever heard of the band Wardruna?
No.
They're probably like the superstars of that kind of genre at the
Right.
moment.
Okay.
But really kind of atmospheric, like drony old deerskin drums and like crazy old instruments. Like there's no like modern instruments in there at all, but absolutely awesome. So that's a little something I've been doing with him on the side as well.
And is that somewhere we can check it?
Yeah, for sure. It's Antuach, so Antuagh.
Right.
He's on Spotify. You can check him there, and like we're going to just be doing little random gigs here and there. I'm not actually on any of the recordings, but we are going to be doing some stuff later on.
Stuff together. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yourself.
Well, I've actually just picked up the guitar myself during lockdown. I always kind of dabbled with the guitar, but I was never very good at it. So I've been kind of trying to get better and better myself on the guitar. So maybe just a wee bit of solo writing. Kev, that's in the band with us, he's kind of set up at home with keys and stuff like that. So we've talked about maybe doing a little side project of writing. What that will be, what that will sound like, I've no idea. But it's nice to kind of have that.
It's nice to not know what you're
like,
going to be doing.
What would that be? What would that sound like? So that's something me and Kev keep talking about doing, and I think it will happen.
There's a lot of influence there between you
I mean,
two
I
as well.
join a couple of other bands, but
How's that panning out?
Daisy. No, I've been approached by a couple of bands, not just yourselves, another couple. So they're maybe still in the pipe work. I don't really know.
Cool.
There's lots of possibility though, you know what I mean? It's nice to have open options and just going, cool, well, actually, if, you know...
In terms of writing for this band though, I think we're taking a hiatus of writing for this, so if that's going to give you free time. Because you've never said you're in the Polis.
Oh yeah, so of course I'm in the Polis, yes.
Yeah, come on. I
Come on, full CV.
I'm, yeah, exactly, Jesus. Just off the back of a couple of interviews, I should know. Let's go. So I'm also in a police tribute called the Polis, and they're a pretty well-established Scottish tribute artist, act rather, and they've travelled all the way around Scotland and stuff like that, and just doing all the big police classics, you know, and crowds they just lap up, you know. We don't have anyone there below the age of 40, but that's kind of
my demographic. What you're saying about
But there is something really cool about, again, having kind of dabbled in the cover band thing myself as well. There is some really cool about playing. I mean, there's something amazing about playing your own songs and crowds loving it and everything like that as well. But there is a different vibe to playing songs that you just know are amazing because you've been listening
exactly.
to them.
Well, the cool thing about like doing the tribute thing is like I was in Aberdeen last night, and like if I went to Aberdeen with the Catch 22s, you get a handful of folk and they go, oh cool, that was quite good. Aye. But folk are going bananas, you know what I mean? Just because you can go anywhere and you're going to get at least a half decent turnout of people who are police fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you just kind of ride off the back of their success.
I know,
But it
and
works.
get paid for it.
It works.
I think well, when I was a teenager, all the bands going about were all covers bands. There was little to nobody doing original stuff really. And then it became a bit of a movement that we've all been part of, and then sort of covers bands became a sort of dirty, a bit like covers.
Cheap wedding band, yeah.
You know,
I've been there myself, and
yeah.
I've said that about like, and I kind of had to take it back over the years.
Yeah,
but,
and
actually.
wedding bands, I think, were at a stage of saturation that every wedding band played exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
I think the pendulum has kind of swung back again. I think
It's getting a little bit more techno.
we're getting a lot of really good tribute bands out there now, like really, really good tribute, and kind of diverse as well, like people that you wouldn't really think about, you know, tributing, if you like. And wedding bands have so up their game. Like the last few weddings I've been to, the bands have been really young people, so it's a different. They're not playing the same songs that have been played for years, and I think there's a bit of a gap for a covers bands to gain momentum locally as well. Now I think we used to have like Joe's band and all these bands, but I think there's a gap for something like that just now.
I think even just when we're doing like our own covers for the Catch-22 sets, like we don't like playing straight covers. Because as much that's the scene for that cover band, you know what I mean? When people like what they hear and they want to hear it like that. If they come and see the Catch-22s, they're like, cool, well, it's a ska band or a punk band or whatever, so we're going to give them, you know...
A ska punk
version. Yeah, we're going to give them a ska punk version of, like, Sweet Dreams, for example, you know what I mean? Like
that's always fun to do as well.
I know. So it gets you kind of think... You own it more, you know what I mean? As much as it's a recognised song and people do connect with that, they go, I've never heard it like that before, though.
Well, that's kind of like Johnny's Bar Mitzvah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It is,
although we are totally, I mean, we're a rip-off of a rip-off of a rip-off, I think. Like, the idea
it's like Inception of bands.
It works.
Where does it end?
But it's, in its way, despite the fact that it's kind of rare, you didn't see that kind of band doing that. Like, how many bands in a punk style will do Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's wild.
What? And it is good, and I hope we manage to get it up and running again in some way, shape or form.
I'm sure you will.
I'm awfully sad we're not playing this year. So
I know. I'm actually very sad too. The Hawaiian shirts, like that was again best gig we've ever done. That was like the colourfulness, the highlights.
It was all the wee things, and then I swear I was like, what, we're going to wear matching shirts every way.
Yes,
and
correct.
we're going to walk on with what coconuts and I was like. You know, not necessarily in the run at that.
It worked,
none of that stuff was stuff that I was even slightly interested in. This year I was like,
worked, man.
we're going to need confetti cannons. Confetti cannons would be amazing. I know, like big plans for this year.
Risk assessment for cannons.
Right, so we're going to get a couple of performances off of you. What he's going to be playing for us today.
Want to see?
No, you.
So,
Leader.
I think we mentioned already we were influenced by the Interrupters. So we've got a brand new song called Warrior, which we've never played live before. And we've got a very old song that we've revived called Karma Song we're going to play for you as well. We've not done a cover. Sorry, naughty.
Boo, breaking the rules. Nah, that's absolutely cool. I'm very much looking forward to hearing Warrior, having had a wee taste of it earlier on. Okay, so we are going to see the Catch-22s, or Chris and Lisa from the Catch-22s, playing these songs back to back, and then we'll be out and then back for our next episode, hopefully next week, with Burn Them Ups.
Thanks so much for having us, man.
Thank you.
Let's do this thing.
Ready?
Okay. Ready. It's too late to apologize, 'cause your way of lies I've spun too thick for you to see it through. I've seen this all before too many times, and now I realize that I'm just worried of you. I won't feel bitter, let it eat me up inside. No, I won't bite my lip or throw away my pride. I'm moving on from this bigger man, and that's what you just can't stand. Oh, I am the better man. I know that karma's coming back for you, and I hope they do, just when you least expect it. And what is with your shitty attitude? Hell, what did I do? I've done nothing to deserve this. I won't feel bitter, let it eat me up inside. No, I won't back my lip or throw away my pride. I'm moving on from this the bigger man, and that's what you just can't stand. Oh, I am the better man. Ooh. Oh, 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 oh. And it's too late to apologize, 'cause you're way above the lies thick for you to see through. I won't feel bitter, let it eat me up inside. No, I won't bite my lip or throw away my pride. I'm moving on from this, the bigger man. And that's what you just can't stand. Oh, I am the better man. Woo! I won't feel bitter, let it eat me up inside. No, I won't bite my lip or throw away my pride. I'm moving on from this bigger man, and that's what you just can't stand. Oh, I am the better man. Oh.
That's very nice.
Hey. Okay, this is Warrior.
Okay.
Whoa, warrior, whoa, whoa, joke, whoa, warrior, whoa, whoa. You're hating, you're raging, not contemplating what you're saying. Social blindness, unkindness. Oh, check your mindset. You don't know the damage done. Someone's daughter, someone's son. Whoa, warrior. Whoa, whoa, Joe. Whoa, warrior. Whoa, whoa, joke. You think you're a warrior? You're just a joke to me. Oh, you think you're a warrior? You're just a joke to me. You're watching, you're stalking, you're hiding, you're content, you're stressing, obsessing. Go check your mindset. You're a stalker in disguise. Watch your beauty you despise. Whoa, warrior. Whoa, whoa, joke. Whoa, warrior. Whoa, whoa, joke. You think you're a warrior? You're just a joke to me. Oh, you think you're a warrior? You're just a joke to me. You're creeping, you're cheating, sliding her DMs. It's hunting season, moral blindness, unkindness. Oh, check your mindset. Someone's gonna find you out. Who will be your family now? Whoa, warrior. Whoa, whoa, joke. Whoa, warrior. Whoa, whoa, joke. You think you're a warrior? You're just a joke to me. Oh, you think you're a warrior? You're just a joke to me. Ta-da!